the Depression, I would say, lasted a good 4 years.
Where it was really hard.
Really, really hard. It just gradually hit us all. I mean, we were never any wealthier or anything, but we used to get chickens and flour and stuff from the farm, from my uncles would bring it in. So we really weren't hurting until everybody was in the same boat as we. It was hard going, but then my mother started working at a dry cleaners, and she was what they call a suit presser. She'd stand on that thing all day long, and she was good. So she had a salary coming in. I had applied for what they have, welfare here, but there they called it relief. But he could only get relief for himself and Doreen. I think the U.S. did more to help their people than we did, but they had the resources that we didn't have. Canada didn't do anything to help the citizens, but down in the States, Roosevelt set up these camps for the youth, and he took all the young people.
Tried to get them jobs.
And he took them out to this. It was almost like a summer camp, except that he made work for them just to keep them occupied and learning to work again. Used to have to get up early in the morning. He'd get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, climb out of his bedroom window to get out the house because you couldn't open the doors. The snow had been drifted up and it was like cement. And he got out and he went around and he shoveled out the door so that us kids could or like Doreen and I can get out and go to school.
You went to school?
Oh yeah. Oh, we didn't have buses, and we walked. During the Depression, we lived, I would say about a mile from the rail. We used to go up there, and as the train would go by, the guy that was shoveling the coal out of the tender would see us there waiting for some coal to drop, and he'd take a shovelful and throw it out so that we could pick up the coal.
And use it to...
And we could pick it up and go home and have, because it was a coal stove that we were using. We watched very carefully what we did with it. All of us would be around with our feet in the oven, trying to keep warm. And then when we were running out of coal, and we had to fix some porridge or something for Doreen, we upturned an iron, and that was our hot plate. I used to walk to school with a girl, and she always had an apple, and I would just watch her eating this apple, and then she'd say, she was always not. She'd say, "Who'd like the core?" And I said, "I would, I would." Well, sometimes I'd get it, and sometimes somebody else would get it. And then, like on holidays, we used to see people coming, drunk guys with baskets of food into his house. And right after one another, Christmas time and Thanksgiving time, they always had great big baskets. And I couldn't figure out what that was, so I got talking to the Winnie, which was a girl my age. I said, how come these people are coming and giving you all this? And she said, well, the church and the different organizations give it to. And I says, well, how do they know that you want it? And she says, well, we go to all their meetings. Well, I started going to every church in the area. I was a Methodist, I was a Lutheran, I went to the Salvation Army. I didn't go to the Catholic Church, but every church, the Baptist, the Holy Rollers, and I was blessed. I mean, I was saved in every one. You know, they say, who wants to be saved? Well, boy, I went and got saved. My name was on the list. And so then, and I remember this one Christmas, these two drunk guys came in, and they had two with their baskets full of stuff. And they brought in this little carriage for Doreen. We used to go around and we pushed Doreen's baby carriage in the night, and we took some onions and put it in the carriage and some radishes and put it in the carriage, and then there would be a crab apple tree, and then we'd get some crab apples, and then Halloween, I wouldn't stay in our area because it was poor area. I was going where the rich people lived and getting my goodies. And then I'd run home and empty the bag, you know, a pillowcase, or else I'd go again. And I was out there all day. And then I got enough apples and candy to last me the whole year. Another thing that was a good thing, there was goodwill between people, because we had a little Chinese grocery store, and he would let my mother go on the dole, you know, run a bill for some of the stuff that she needed. And he'd always know that when she got some money, she would catch up. My mother wouldn't, she was a funny woman. She would not eat anything if we weren't eating. Like if there was nothing in the house for us to eat, she wouldn't even have a cup of tea. Like the neighbor would ask her in for tea and cake or something, and she'd say, well, I'd love a cup of tea, but I don't want any cake. And they said, why? Well, my children don't have anything in there to eat. Brother named Stanley that drowned in the river. And that was another bad time. It was just at that bad time. And then there was me. When I was, I guess, 6 years old when he drowned in the Saskatchewan River.
That's sad.
Yeah, that was, oh yeah, my mother went crazy. And she used to get up in the middle of the night and she'd just call him his name. And that was, I would say that the Depression was, like I say, very difficult for at least 2-3 years. Then, when the idea of the war and Britain was already in the war, then the industry started working up with the refineries and everything. And everything just seemed as if the sun came out. Now when we think about it, it's scary to think that we live that way.
Why?
Put it away. Well, let's have a wing. You want to drive up a wing?
That was good. That was chock full of information.